Okay.
Pardon me? I did not.
I'd like to call the Village of North Fond du Lac Board of Trustees meeting to order. Audience members are requested to sign the sheet provided at the registration table. Citizens wishing to be heard on topics not listed on the agenda may speak under item C. Roll call.
Moore,
Here.
Mike Streeter.
Here.
Mike Will.
Stand for the pledge. Any citizen participation? Okay, got a public hearing tonight, so we will adjourn to the public hearing. And it's for changes to Chapter 15 of the Village Ordinance O-2018-01, Social Hosting. Darren?
Could you just kind of recap that?
Right.
Yeah, back in 2016, the social host ordinance that we had in North Fond du Lac, throughout Fond du Lac County, and actually all over the state, was deemed to be overly broad by the appeals court and was struck down. So at that time, there was a lot of discussion as to whether or not the ordinances should be revised at the local level or if they should be visited at the state level. And ultimately, there was a couple of legislators that took it on at the state level and actually got it passed late in 2017. So basically, the ordinance in front of you is striking down the ordinance that we had, which was 1520, and is instead just amending 1501 and adding in the language from the state law so that we can enforce the social host law locally.
Is that the only change they made with the minors to underage?
Well, we're actually removing the entire social host ordinance that existed previously
Okay.
and instead replacing it. And really all we're doing is referencing the state statute now and saying that we adopt it in full. So there's a lot less language that we have to worry about.
Okay. Anybody want to speak to the change in the ordinance? Second time, anybody want to speak in the ordinance? Third time, anybody want to speak on the ordinance? If not, we will adjourn from the public hearing. And tonight, we got a little special recognition tonight for Randy Stutz, our former EMS director, for his years of service.
I think Laurie's going to speak to that to start the
Okay.
the recognition.
Well, I thought I'd make a speech, and then I started looking through some speeches, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is not appropriate. So I decided to define the word retirement for Randy. R is for rest. Only in Wisconsin do you get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to a car versus cow. E is for energy, which you will have with the no more 1 o'clock pager tones. T is for time, more time with family, friends, and of course household chores. I is for imagination, spending the day planning what you're going to do the next hour instead of what you're going to do the next week. R is for relaxation, feet up in the recliner, hopefully without an ice pack soon. E is for expand, expand your horizons. I hear that sheephead at the senior center is pretty good. M is for money. Well, you know you didn't make any money here, so it really don't matter. E is for enjoy. Enjoy the ride of retirement and the slow, non-lights and sirens of life. Kind of like a call we had on 41, one of my very first calls with you. Just going to a rollover accident at NN 41, and I was in back a year to go. You said, okay, it's up here on the right, just slowing down probably 10 miles an hour. I unbuckled my seatbelt, was just about to stand up, and I hear Randy yell, oh shit, sit down, buckle up. We hit black ice, and just like that, we slid sideways on 41, and I kind of did the, what in the heck am I doing? N is for nap, without guilt. Of course, unless you're in line at Walgreens to get your prescriptions and you fall asleep, then that would be embarrassing. And T is take time for you. Remember everything you've done for our community, for our service and for our village. Now it's time to take time for you. So we have a little something for you. Actually, it's something for your man cave.
Oh, wow, is that nice? I have a place for this. Certainly have a place for this. Thank you kindly. If I could just address the board a few minutes.
Absolutely. We're hoping you would.
Yeah.
25 years is a long time, and I certainly want to thank the village for allowing me to, act in many capacities, many roles here as an EMT. Started off as a maintenance officer and under Pete Chisholm. He was the director at the time. Pete gave many years of service here, and he left, and he asked me if I would consider taking the role of the director, and I thought, well, geez, I have no experience being a director, and but I thought about it and talked with my family, and we decided that we'd give it a try, and I've been the director, I've not been the director, I've been the director, I've not been the director, with a lot of changes here in the makeup of the department, but it was good. It was good. I remember I was living in the city of Fond du Lac, and above establishment, which was the old Village Walk over there, that's where our crew quarters was. And we were there, and it was used quite a bit, but not like the current EMS house is being used. We had a lot of folks that lived here in the village that were on the crew. The village board, after one of our EMTs succumbed to a minor injury after kind of skating down the back steps, the village board purchased the property across the road here, and we put up a home. And I remember when that home was built, was placed there, it was maybe used 6 hours, 8 hours, maybe 12 hours every 3-4 days. Well, now that house is being used every day. Certainly the makeup of the village has changed, the department has changed, all around the state, all around the nation, that EMS itself has changed. And it's a changing discipline. I was part of the implementation of MSAC, our advisory committee. I was on when that committee was formed. I think it's a good advisory committee. It gives the townships and a little bit of a say, and we want to keep them involved with our service. We need to have that dialogue back and forth. So I thank the village for the years of allowing me to serve the taxpayers of North Fond du Lac and the taxpayers of the area that we serve, the municipalities and the townships. Don't know what's going to happen here in the future. Hopefully, I'll be able to serve the village in a different capacity. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be here last month. I had a little bit of a medical issue that I'm certainly recovering from. But Jake, I want to congratulate you. The service is going in the right direction. You guys have done well. Haven't been down here yet, but I hopefully am not going to be a stranger. I'll be down here and kind of nose around a little bit. But again, I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to serve, and I wish the village all the best. Thanks.
Question, Randy. I've always marveled at how when the EMS service started, when you started getting into, what kind of an ambulance was being used at that time?
when I started, we had a well, I wish Jimmy was here, because he was part of, we had a van style, ambulance. It was a Yankee coach, on a Ford chassis. Yankee coach was built out in Massachusetts, and I know we sent a member, it was when I came on, we had that, I know we sent a member out to Massachusetts and he drove it back. So we've graduated from, you know, the van style chassis to the medium duty, and now we've got a Type 1 with the Dodge, the Dodge chassis. So we've made some, we made some pretty good strides, and certainly technology and equipment certainly has gotten much improved. Yeah, I mean, it's, again, long way from when I first started back here, with an old Yankee coach. We used to have to put, studded tires on in the wintertime, and it was like skating. I mean, because, the really, all you were running with just studs on the highway, and, it really wreaked havoc with the floor and the fire hose, back in that thing and taking off with that thing. But, yeah, we used to keep the studded tires down at the village garage, and we change them out every, in the winter and the summer, so things certainly have changed.
You didn't have that fancy call thing on your phone either.
No, we didn't have I am responding, and,
None of that fancy stuff.
no, so,
It was a phone list hanging on the fridge.
that's right.
Do you,
Thank you.
do you remember when Pete Chisholm retired and you took over? How many years ago that was?
Oh,
Just-
boy, I don't,
That's fine, I just.
I can't remember.
But it was before me, so it had to be more than
18 years ago?
18 years ago. More than that, because
Oh, yeah.
Fred Stansbury was in charge when I started.
Okay.
I've been here 17, and you were EMS director then, so.
All right, thank you.
I think that we went to the paramedic level, like,
I'm sorry,
we went
Mike?
to the paramedic level like 8, 9 years ago, and you were a big part of getting that.
Yeah, what
that's
happened
huge.
is that we were a basic level service, and then we became a pilot it was the intermediate level. We were a pilot program in the state. So we were able to do that, and then we were an intermediate service, and then, we got certified as an intermediate service, and then the next step up was an I-99 service, which we were able to start giving some of the cardiac medications. Again, then the state of Wisconsin, they kind of revamped EMS as a whole, and then they kind of did away with the intermediate or the I-99 level of service, so you either had to go back to like an IV tech service or advance to a paramedic service. I think we went back a little bit for a while, but then under Dana Seckler's leadership, we got sponsored to do the paramedic, and that's where we've been since then, so,
That was huge.
yeah.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
I think.
Thank you, Randy. Thanks, Randy. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Just one other thing, I think, there's the treats, is that back in the bay?
No.
Over there, all right, so, yeah, so,
Mike brought us cake last month when we.
By the way,
picked it up, so-
Today is also Amy's birthday. Happy
oh,
birthday.
that's right, that's right, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay. President's business, library.
Heather's not here. I know she and her staff have been busy. They're recarpeting the library, and they started last Wednesday, and hoping to get done by Wednesday of this week, and they're actually well ahead of that. They actually didn't do any carpeting today. The staff was busy just putting some books away and clearing out some other area there. The final area to be carpeted is all clean and ready to go. They're coming back tomorrow, so they should finish, easily finishing that off. And so it's looking very nice, and, it's nice and fresh and clean, and the gals have been doing really well. Their hopes were to have it back open mid-Thursday afternoon, so they should be well on schedule to have it done by then.
Okay. Administrator Chuck?
One thing, today we took down the decorations at Yellowstone Trail Park. Again, thanks to all that helped with that. Other than that, we've been starting to look at some of the 2018 projects that are on our capital plan and working to get those in motion. Thank you.
Okay. Police Department, Darren?
Thank you. I was not at the December 18th meeting, so I did not get to you the monthly report for November, but you have that in front of you tonight. The December monthly report will be brought in at next week's meeting. Aside from that, as I mentioned in my weekly report, things were pretty quiet from a police standpoint for New Year's Eve. And we've had some issues which are slowing down a little bit now, keeping cars on the road. I think the cold weather really took a toll on us. So hopefully the weather stays a little bit warmer here for a while. So that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Darren. At least we're not slipping and sliding the way they are out in Easton right now. Fire and EMS, Jake?
Thank you. We started our EMS refresher this past weekend. That'll continue on for the next 3 weekends to get everybody recertified. Just some preliminary numbers. I know in February I'll give you exact numbers for runs with 502. And I'm also working on a spreadsheet for fire and 500. But we ran 145 fire calls last year and 732 EMS calls. The contract with MTM is still up in the air. I haven't heard anything back from Rob. I've been emailing him, if not once, twice a week to try to get that process moved forward, but it is taking some time. Since our last contact had left, he's been piled up with a lot of work. So, and on the 15th, we'll be meeting with Waupun Hospital to talk about a contract with them to do round trip services for patients that they serve. So, that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Jake.
Yep.
Public Works, Nick?
Thank you. Met with MSA last week to start talking about Indiana Avenue. We're hoping to bid that on February 27th, so backing that up, we gotta get publications in 3 weeks basically ahead of time, because we do back-to-back weeks of publications, and then the following Tuesday, we do a pre-bid meeting for the contractors, and then we'll, planning on bidding that February 27th, and hoping to start that work as soon as the frost is out of the ground, whatever that is, April, sometime in April likely, and hopefully complete it within about 6 weeks from when they start, with the, no later than June 29th is what we're gonna put in the contract. They have to finish it by June 29th at the latest. Chuck and I have been discussing, there's an interested party, we've had a lot of interested parties over the years with the old Zoc auto salvage yard. We have one right now that's interested in possibly putting up a building over there. So, in order to get to that point, at some point, if the village wants to entertain the thought of selling that, we need to have any environmental concerns cleaned up. We had a phase 1 completed back in 2007. The next step, and that's a phase 2. So Chuck and I have been working on getting numbers together for that, getting a phase 2 completed, which will do actual tests of the soils and let us know what kind of contaminations may be out there and what needs to be done to clean that up in order to sell the property. Because we're a municipality, there's a municipal exemption with those type of properties, so if we were to sell it to a private party, they would be responsible to clean it up immediately, so. Mitch and I have been working with East Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission for our 2040 sewer service area planning. It's done every 20 years. We need to look at where we think we will need sewer service in out to 2040. So it's a little bit of a challenge trying to make those boundaries, because you can't just, make a whole bunch. They come up with numbers of what they think you will have for residential growth and commercial growth, and come up with a number of acres you have to add on to your area, and then you have to figure out where that needs to be. So it's a bit of a challenge to get all that to work together. So we've been working with Joe Hoffman from East Central with that. Probably would complete that in the next month or so. That'll bring that to the board at some point. Also, Chuck and I actually just had another meeting today, but just continue to answer some calls about economic development. Nothing real earth-shattering at this point. Nothing's very close, but nonetheless, there's been a lot of phone calls and conversations about it. That's all I have.
Thanks, Nick. Consent agenda. Approve the minutes of the following village board meetings, December 18, 2017. And approve invoices and authorize checks to be drawn in respect of funds in the amounts indicated for checks on 12/31 and checks on 1/8 of January. Okay, I'll do that one for the 31st. General fund, $25,498.55. Outdoor rec, $923.47. Library fund, $864.34. EMS fund, $976.41. Water department, $6,893.85. Wastewater department, $807.60. Community development, $107.72. Stormwater fund, $269.89, for a total of $36,341.83. And checks from January 8th. General fund, $128,893.79. Library fund, $1,936.80. EMS fund, $3,159.12. Capital project, $10,358.10. Water department, $29,011.40. Wastewater department, $7,866.75. Community development, $140.44. Stormwater fund, $1,531.39, for a grand total of $182,897.79. Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Streeter, second by Will to accept the consent report. Any questions?
I guess
Mike?
got something on the official minutes, under F. I think you got the two mics mixed up on that,
Which number is that on?
under I, when there was a motion made explaining the landline charge. Mike Will asked about the digger's hotline charge, that was actually Mike Streeter. And I asked about the stolen property charge, so I just flip-flopped those two names. At the end of I. Mike Streeter asked about the digger's hotline charge, right? And then
Are you
I-
under F?
I'm under, excuse me, I'm under
F.
F.
Yes, okay.
Number 2.
So you're saying Mike Streeter asked about the AT&T charge?
Mike Streeter asked about the digger's hotline charge. I'm the one that asked
Oh.
about the stolen property charge.
Okay.
Just flip-flop those two names,
Okay.
right, Mike?
The long distance charge you talking about?
The digger's hotline charge. You asked about that at the last meeting, correct?
Actually, I asked about the long distance one. The AT&T long distance charge one.
Well, I don't know
You can
who
check
asked.
the tape. I got the
They can
video.
check the tape, but I know I'm the one that asked about the stolen. I just wanna make sure the minutes are right.
Okay.
Yeah, at the top
I
I
know
didn't
for
notice it
sure
either.
that I asked about the last thing, so.
And the motion, in the top says a motion was made by Mike Will Streeter.
Oh, nice.
You wish.
Okay, I missed that too. Mike Will
Let me
Streeter.
look at, I can redo that.
Okay, thanks. All right,
I go by my maiden name.
okay.
Any questions on the invoices? If not, all in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Administration, discussion, possible action on the approving the operations policy 1.15 of the Veterans Memorial Policy.
This is the policy that we had looked at last meeting, and it just kind of cleaned it up based on the comments that were made, removing some of it and maybe putting item C in, which just talks about that any questions should be directed to the Veterans Memorial Committee. So I think I tried to capture what we had talked about at that meeting.
Mike?
Just for the correction, like under item D, instead of, like, it's a CC on there, but, under D for wreaths or flowers, I think one of the main things that I was trying to point out, for the wreaths and flowers, other than plantings around the memorial and flower pots are prohibited. And I like that, just make it clean, the special request thing, I think that's the reason that that I wanted this on the agenda, because just, there shouldn't be anything out there at all, because the special request, because then if you, then you're getting away from the whole idea of nothing being allowed out there. So to strike the special request may be made by to the village board in writing and will be approved or denied on a case-by-case basis. Requests should also be sent to the village administrator, just to strike that part.
And so,
But leave the first part, wreaths or flowers.
just saying it's prohibited and leave it at that.
Yeah, wreaths or flowers other than the plantings, yep. Just, strike that second part.
At the
I
same-
guess you have to have a second for that, but I mean, I'm not sure if I'm in agreement with that. I mean, we have full control over that, and there might be a special occasion that comes up, the board can decide, but, I mean, maybe there's a certain event going on, and we'll say, hey, we'll allow it this time. So I don't understand why we gotta scratch it, so.
Well, the whole idea is that, it's a memorial and it's not
Yep.
something, like, if you wanna leave flowers, or something like that, that's what gravestones are for. This, if we allowed anything over there, then the whole point is that it's gonna look, cluttered, and that's not what that memorial is about, and that's what our committee decided on. Even though the village board maintains that, there still is a veterans committee. So that's what we would like to see.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I want that second part struck down. Because there still is a committee. The village maintains it, but they're not making any decisions on what's allowed there. So this actually shouldn't be in there anyway, because the board is not gonna make that decision. Because there still is a Veterans Memorial Committee active.
I disagree with you, because I think once you turn it over to the village, it's actually the village's, and I mean, we're going to respect the committee and all that stuff, so I don't know why we'd box ourselves in something like that. I think that we can trust the board to make a good decision, so that's just my 2 cents, and I don't think it's needed. We can revisit it if it comes a problem and strike it then, but I don't think we should box ourselves in. Jim, what do you think?
I don't care one way or the other. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it being in there.
I think somebody needs to make a motion one way or another, and,
Okay,
oh, I'm
okay.
sorry. I didn't see.
Mike, I thought, and I might be wrong on this, but this originally came to the board a long time ago. Sometime last year, I think, already. And I thought when we talked about it back then, that we had all kind of agreed that we did want to leave in the possibility of special things, because I remember the example coming up of if Friendship Learning Center, some student teacher, contacted us and said that the kids wanted to come over and do something for Veterans Day or something like that. I just think that would be really sad if that wasn't an option for the kids in the village to recognize those people in the service that they gave. And I thought when we talked about it back then, we said that it would be as simple as, we'll give you permission to put a wreath out there on Veterans Day, but the village is going to go and remove it a week from that day or whatever, so that it doesn't get cluttered, so you don't end up with a lot of dead or garbage things laying around over there or whatever. I thought that's what was talked about way back then.
Yeah, I don't recall that. I mean, for me, being a veteran, the memorial it's memorializing all the people that served, and just to keep it clean, and, I mean, but that's just me. I'm just one vote. I mean, that was kind of the whole idea behind that, just to, keep it not cluttered. And that's the reason that I wanted, us to look at this policy.
Well, I know, the Optimist did some work over there, and I would think that was a special request, and the work got done. I don't think it did anything to
No, we're not talking about that, Jim. We're talking about like flowers and stuff, like people leaving it up
You
there
got
like
something
would
on
do it.
flowers. We're talking about special requests, like,
Right.
you know, somebody doing work over there. Like the club did. Or like Chuck said, or Darren said.
This isn't, Jim, it's not special requests to do extra work over there. These are based on special requests, like for leaving like a wreath over there or flowers up by the stones or something like that. That's what this is aimed at. It's not like if someone wanted to go over there and do some other landscaping or something, it's not prohibiting that. That's not what this is.
You know, and then make that part of it, item E, and it won't be connected to the wreath and flowers or anything else. No, I don't think they should get rid of it, just make it as a separate
My
request.
last kick at the can, I think we could trust the village board to make a good decision if those special requests come forward, so
Well,
that's
they
my
got to
2
be
cents.
referred to the committee anyway.
We'd surely bring the committee in, hopefully.
No, Mike is just saying that since this is turned over to the village and the village is maintained, the committee isn't gonna have a say in it. That's what Mike is saying. And the
Well,
board is gonna
no,
make that
but
decision.
You don't have full control of it like you did before. You turn the maintenance over if you want
Right.
full
That's
control,
what I
you
just
should.
said.
But I'm not saying that you don't have no say in it. I didn't say that, Mike.
But you said the board would make the decision, so.
Well, the board can make that decision, and hopefully the committee comes and puts their 2 cents in on an issue like that, which are you involved with. So, at this time, I won't support taking it out, so it's up to somebody else if they want to second that.
I didn't make the motion.
request.
I didn't make a motion, so
Make sure you did not make a motion.
I did not make a motion. I just said that, I just wanted to discuss that.
I mean, if
So
you
I
want
did not make a motion.
to move that sentence down to item E,
Well, if Mike Will wants to make a motion to accept the policy as written. Okay.
I'll make the motion to accept the policy as written, 1.15 Veterans Memorial Policies, 12-18, 2017. And just change that letter C to a D.
Yep. Do we have a second?
I guess I'll second it. Wait, how many more board members here?
All right.
All in favor of,
You want
leaving-
to see if there's any more discussion?
Huh?
You want to ask for more discussion, too? Get a first and a second.
Okay. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor of leaving it the way it is, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Nay. We want to leave that number 2 to the last.
Up to you.
Might be kind of lengthy.
Okay.
Let's move item 2 down to the bottom. These other items aren't going to take long. Number 3, discussion and possible action on accepting trustee John Duffy's resignation.
John has submitted his resignation. He gave it to President Moore on the 15th of December. It was after we had the agendas out and everything else, so we didn't make that cutoff for having it on that meeting. So this is the first meeting after we received that. So John has turned it in, and I don't want to, well, I know the reason he did it is because he wants to run for the village administrator, and you can't be on a trustee as after you turn your application in. So that's the reason Sean turned his resignation in. So the board has to accept that resignation.
I'll make a motion that we accept John's resignation from the village board.
I'll second it.
Motion by Streeter, second by Will to accept the resignation of John Duffy.
Mike's got his flag.
I want to go on record to thank John for his, I think, how many months, maybe 18 months of service. He helped us through a difficult period, and he was an asset to the board here, I think, and the community, and I wish John well, and I thank him for his service. So,
Number 4, discussion and,
Vote on
Need-
it. Have to vote.
Need a vote, man.
We have a first and a second.
okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Number 4, discussion and possible action on filling the vacant trustee position.
Well, I put information in the packets. there is really no firm guidelines on a search or, I should say a search, but a timeline and how you go about filling a vacant trustee position. So I actually had a hard time even finding what the trustees' duties are, you know, because there's really no guidelines on that either. I looked at the league, and I've got some basic information, which is in your packet, but it's really not that defined as to what they did. So I put together some information on it. I put together a job description. Position description is one based on what I feel the trustees do. And I guess I'm open to the board kind of discussing how they want to go about filling that vacancy.
I guess I would like a little bit of history from the guys that have been through it before, how you guys proceeded. I mean, all three of you were part of that vacancies in the past, you know. I have not, so.
Mike, do you remember any of that? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long, long time. I think the last one we appointed was either Keith or Tammy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember I was appointed.
I think
I think
Mike, Jim was, well, you were appointed president.
Keith and
Yeah.
Tammy were the last two.
Yes.
That applied, yeah.
But I was appointed trustee in the beginning.
Were you?
Yeah,
To fill what position?
How did you get the word out to them?
I think that gal was on the board,
I do not even remember how we did that.
and they were taking applications for that one position, and I was appointed.
Is there,
But I would, we could put it, you know, on our website, and we could put it all the normal locations, the library. I don't know if it'd be appropriate to put it at the bank and these,
Well, I don't know if.
where
it
we
would-
put the
would-
villager coming on the
It
agenda?
is, very soon.
Yeah,
That'd be a perfect place
Yeah,
to put
yeah,
it.
and I think, you know, if anything coming out of this meeting, I would think, you know, if we are gonna post the job, to find out how long we should post it. I think that would be kind of important to know how long we should, and based on the applications, if we want from that, a timeline from there where we interview and we make a selection.
Does anybody know when the villager comes out next?
I guess it depends on how long you want to leave the
What?
position
Well, when you get your
vacant.
next water bill, so the end of the month, beginning of.
End of this month.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's positive. And,
So, I
so
mean,
we should have the applications back by the middle of February?
I guess it depends on how fast you want to fill it.
Well, why don't we, put it out there, and like Chuck says, let's set some parameters on the dates and stuff, and,
when do you think we'll
I think it'd be
actually,
important to get the
when will
extra
they
board
actually
member
start? It'll
to,
be on the shelf, probably, what, about the 5th of February? I think it'll be on that.
People don't come in to get them until they receive their water bill, and their water bill will probably go out absolutely by the latest would be the 5th of February. Probably by the 1st of February, they'll go out, we'll have them by the 3rd. So that's when people start coming in to pick them up, because they kind of know they can hand it in. I would say, you know, if you did Valentine's Day or February 15th as a 2-week window, I think that would be fair.
I would say the 16th, give them to that Friday, and,
We'd have them then for the 19th meeting.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I think we should try to fill it, because it's an important decision we have to make in, going forward with administrators, so one extra voice would be, I think, positive, so.
okay.
How do you feel, Mr. Streeter?
yeah, that works.
February 1st?
Well, 15th, we'd have it open until the 15th.
Yeah.
Or the 16th? Or the
16th.
15th? 15th.
Yeah,
Just have them in by the
Get 'em-
close of business on the
Then you
15th.
can, get them on the
yeah, yes.
agenda, okay.
Yeah.
So where we're gonna put it? The villager, we're gonna put it at the library
Library, the bank,
and the
you
website?
here, and our website. Facebook too? I think so.
Has there been any interest, anybody asking about it?
I think there's some, yes.
That's good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, if that works fine with me.
Okay.
Did anybody have a chance to look at the village trustee job
I
description?
did a little bit.
I mean, and if you do have any suggestions
I see,
in
before
the
I
next day or two, you know,
Okay.
then we'll maybe make a few things, but it's what I
Cool.
kind of think that the village trustee does.
I think it's fine. I think, in the advertisement, I think it would be beneficial to put in there to to give them the option to call any trustee and put our information, our email and our phone numbers, on exactly what we do.
Yep, that's a good question, good thought.
That makes sense.
All right, let's go with that, thank you.
I called you when I was looking, so.
Okay.
I know, that's funny.
Possible action on the sale of lot on TID number 2.
I'm not sure, Mike, if you wanted to,
Well, I had somebody approach me about selling a part of that Zoc property, that piece that's really not, it's kind of an odd piece that sticks out to the south, and it's probably a half of a lot that somebody else, the other half of the lot, and they were wondering if the village would be interested in selling that. I told them I would check with the village, and I'd let them know that it's on the agenda tonight, and I'm told them it would go out for, if we decide to do it, we put it up for sale. It didn't matter just one bid, we would put it up for sale, and
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, is that if we do work, we don't have to even advertise or anything. It's kind of like if we find a interested person, I'm not saying we wouldn't do that, Mike, but, I mean, if we
Yeah.
decide to set on a price, and you wanted to buy it, we could just work with you. We don't have to post it, we don't have to do anything else. Just a little more background on it, and I think my notes said it too, is that this little piece that sticks out kind of to the south of the normal, where the salvage yard was inadvertently not included when we were annexing that property into the village. So there is that lot that's in the town of Friendship that the village does own. And so this kind of, I don't want to say clean it up, but in the sense if that person would be interested, is we don't have to re-put it back into the town of Friendship or anything else. It's kind of a clean sale if you would want to sell it.
my 2 cents is that, I mean, there's another property adjacent to that too. If he didn't know it was for sale, and someone bought him underneath it, but didn't even know it was for sale.
Oh, really?
It's, no, I'm
Oh,
saying,
if
that
he-
house there, that's,
Oh.
not that establishment, on some of that house,
You're right.
they wanted to, it's like, if we want, let them know it's for sale, that would be pretty fair to get by.
I hear what you're saying.
And,
Yep.
I don't know about the other direction, it's pretty much vacant land, but, I would not be in favor, just, even though I know the gentleman, and
Mhm.
I don't think it'd be fair to,
And what we'd have to do is find somebody to appraise it, just because we're not even sure what the value would be or anything else, so, but. Nick's got his flag up too. Nick's got his flag.
Nick?
Thanks. One thing that just crossed my mind as we were talking here, I didn't really think about is if we own it, if we annex it, it's taxable in our tax district. If we give it away without annexing it first, any tax base that would ever be put on it wouldn't be part of our tax base. But I don't know that if one of these people bought it, there probably, no matter what happens, probably wouldn't be any tax base on it just because of the way the lot is. But I guess I never really gave that much thought when we were talking about it.
And if we do annex it, we'd have to, town of Friendship, we'd have to pay back taxes, or taxes for 3
Yeah,
years or something
yeah,
like that, so.
Yeah,
Taxes on that kind of a lot is probably
minimal.
minimal, so.
I was under the impression that it was missed, but it was supposed to be annexed in.
It was,
It was.
So, but it's not annexed in?
no,
It got missed totally?
yeah.
When you do the meets and bounds, I think it missed.
Somehow they missed that lot and it just, we never cleaned it up. It's not in the village, it's currently in the town.
Should we
It doesn't
do
matter
that?
right now 'cause
Should
it's
we
tax
do,
exempt.
but should we do that so that it forces somebody that if they do something with that lot, that they want some utility, so that we force them to, you know?
It's kind of landlocked, so I mean. there's
It is,
nothing-
but I'm saying one of these 2 other ones would, that, I think part of it is that other lot with that garage on, maybe we'd like to sell that, and, you know, again, need it a lot in Friendship and North Fond du Lac, right?
Say it
Yep.
again?
Yes.
Right now, it would be
Yes.
Friendship total, so.
Yeah.
My question is, you talked about some interest out there, and would you think that
That's where the
interested
house is.
party would want
This
that?
is, he's interested in that.
That's what Chuck and I looked at. I mean, it's really, doesn't
Huh?
serve much of a
Garage?
purpose, we don't believe,
No,
for
this is the garage.
the
This-
larger
this is the-
property, because it, it is kind of just
So
a
this is the
little
garage, this is
parcel
the house that
hanging
they
off
tore
the bottom there, but
So
you
this,
never know.
is-
You know, you never
this-
know.
This is how, that's really the way it was, and we forgot to annex that
By the time by the time you put setbacks in that lot, if you're going to try to build anything in that lot, put setbacks in there, there's not much area left.
I guess, I'm undecided, I don't know where we should go.
Well, should we proceed and at least get it appraised? And I'm not sure, how much cost is there to annex it?
There's not any cost, it's just one thought on that is if we're not unsure, it doesn't cost us anything to leave it the way it is.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's not costing us anything, in order to sell it, we're gonna have appraisal costs, we're gonna have, if we wanna annex it, it's gonna be some costs for back taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're unsure, it doesn't cost us anything to just leave it the way it is.
It'd be nice if they were going to look at building something, if something was in the plan already.
Yeah.
I think he's just looking at improving that lot in front of him. That's what his intentions are.
Mike?
I would be in favor of just leaving it the way it is, just not sell it, just leave it.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we do not, sell the lot in, to number 2.
I'll second it this time.
Okay, any more discussion? If not, all in favor of option 1, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried.
Mike, will you get back to that person?
Huh?
Will you get back to that person I'd asked you? Thank you.
Item number 6, discussion possible action approving the renewal of Chuck Bow on the Police and Fire Commission. Chuck has volunteered to extend his point, expired in 2017, and he would like to extend it to another 5 years.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we approve renewing Chuck Bowen on the Police and Fire Commission, and thank him for doing that.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of approving Chuck Bow on the PFC, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried. All right, let's go back to item 2.
Well, before we do that, you know, again, this might be a long discussion. We won't feel too offended if you guys want to go back and have cake and that with Randy and that's. I
Georgia
mean, I don't-
Bulldogs are playing in 15 minutes, so I'm out of here, because my daughter goes to the University of Georgia. So I'm out of here.
Do we want to recess
Jim.
for
Yeah, we can do that.
recess for
Jim.
10
Yeah.
minutes?
Yeah, we should.
You wanna
We
take
looked
care of the
at-
ordinance first, and then
Yeah,
we're all done?
yeah,
That makes sense?
With
Yeah.
everybody.
yeah,
That work?
Yeah, then we'll recess for,
okay.
Then you can recess and.
We'll
back.
Take just 2
We'll
minutes.
just approve the ordinance and we'll recess. We can do it right here. Okay. Discussion, possible action on approving ordinance 0-2018-01. We've gone through it everything. I guess we have to approve it.
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 2018-1.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Roll call.
Oh, roll call, yeah, ordinance.
Jim?
Yep.
Mike?
Yes.
And Mike.
Yes.
Item number 2. Oh, by the way,
Because Jim is a mouthful of donut,
I was
a
270
cupcake.
on this one.
Pardon?
On that one, Chuck, no, please, yeah, that was 217.
Okay.
So we're gonna discuss on whether to utilize a retirement or recruitment company for the administrator position.
Yes. Like I
Okay.
said, I forwarded the last series of questions to the 3 companies that we're considering for helping with the recruitment of the administrative position. And there's starting to accumulate quite a pack of response and what each firm is saying, how they're what they can do. I had a lengthy discussion with the firm from Oshkosh, PAA, and I put some of the notes that they had there as well.
What'd you feel about them?
Well, I think he offered up some nice options. One, and I don't know if I told all of you, I've got over 30 applications. And
I didn't hear
get
that.
a couple more each day, so we got the rest of this week.
Which one's
Are they
Oshkosh?
just from where, everywhere? I mean,
Everywhere.
just state of Wisconsin or nationwide?
nationwide.
Really?
Yep. And there are some
Must
from
have you on
Fond du Lac.
board.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, there are some from all over, some that definitely are not qualified. Some are in an administrative role in other places, so I mean,
Nice.
so, and one thing that this company PAA was willing to do.
Which one is that, Chuck, now?
Which one is that?
Oshkosh.
The Oshkosh firm,
The-
they're the
the
ones
That
we
does-
use.
before.
Which one is,
Oshkosh? This one
Steve,
here?
the Steve?
Steve
Yes,
Hintz,
Steve.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Steve.
This one here?
Yes.
This is MCM, that's a
And,
different one.
one thing that they offered up to do at no charge, they would look through that pack of 30-some and more or less give their opinion as to which ones we should even consider. That may narrow it from 30 down to 6, I don't know that. I think if we put some qualifiers on it saying we're more interested in just those in Wisconsin, you know, things like that, that we could say to help do that. I personally would like to take advantage of that. There's no commitment, I don't think, by doing that, because they're just saying they'd be willing to do it.
And then the firm out of, is it Manitowoc, right? Is that what the?
That's
Manitowoc's
another one,
firm?
that's MCM or something like that, yes.
So, if I'm reading that correctly, since we started the process, they wouldn't feel comfortable coming in and doing that, they want us to
Right.
start over again?
Yeah, when I did mention, and I think I made note of it too, that when I did talk to that PAA about the fact that we felt we had a couple internal candidates that we definitely want to consider, he said, well, if that's the case, maybe we should take that 30 and just narrow it down to just a couple that are maybe the strongest candidates out of that, and have just a pool of 4, you know, rather than
5.
really opening this up to a much more involved process. In any case, no matter which firm, I'm sure, though one said they probably won't unless, like you said, Mike, start over. One of the things that is always time consuming, and maybe they have a lot more expertise in that, is just doing reference checking, you know, just validating their applications and things like that, so.
I mean, looking through here, I mean, I like the, I mean, that GovHR certainly knows what they're doing and gave us a lot of information. I mean,
Oh, shit.
Holy
I
mackerel.
wouldn't even consider that one.
That one,
Take me a
that
week
one
to go
seems
through the
pretty,
documents.
pretty classy.
Yep.
I mean, I saw, I mean, I know I had mentioned about our previous experience, but, if the other firm isn't willing to start in the middle after we, you know, they wanna start the process over again, I think that was kind of like my point when we started talking about this, whenever, you know, deciding that, you know, made the date to take applications. I think that was the whole thing behind that. If we did take it, you know, PA and, you know, gave them a shot, we still have time. If it didn't work out and we weren't happy, then we could certainly say, okay, this didn't work out, and then look elsewhere for, you know, someone to help us out. I did like, you know, like, the offer that you had mentioned. And, you know, the reference checking, I know they've been in for a while, we just didn't have real good luck with that last time, but it's been 10 years, so maybe, I mean, I remember Steve, but I don't remember, I thought it was a couple, wasn't it a man and his wife?
Well, I think the one that helped us with the last search, his last name was Fry.
Okay.
And I think he's still with the firm, and I did mention to him that, you know, we felt the last time didn't work out the best and everything else, and he more or less did say, you know, that we try to find out as much, but it really is truly up to the board as to which ones they choose, you know, based on what they collect, and so.
Yeah. That's true.
I personally don't feel that we should throw them out just because of that. I think we should give them, if we feel they're a viable company, to kind of put that behind us and see how well they do again.
How much we want them to do?
I think the price that he had talked about is, let's say that we consider the whole pool of 30-something, you know, and we don't narrow it down. If we do everything, it's about $7,500. If we would narrow it down and just say pick the top 4, 5, 6, then it could be as little as $4,500. So,
That's a smoking deal, I mean, what we were thinking about earlier?
yes.
Jeez
Well, you look
Louise.
at that GovHR, you know, they're up to the 17,000, 18,000.
Yeah.
So,
I can
And
tell
I
by-
think-
Somebody like Appleton or
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they're looking at a big city,
Yeah, I can,
I agree.
and they probably highball us just to flick us away. And go away. And that's fine.
There's another one that, I don't know what it's called, it's the
MCM?
MCM, yeah. They're the ones that said they would be comfortable, right?
Starting in the middle.
Starting in the middle, you're right.
yeah,
They'd like to,
they didn't have
or
much,
Kimberly and Lyle we got, you know.
they
but-
didn't have much to give us,
but
No,
again,
they didn't, you're right. Yes, that one.
I'm actually, comfortable with that.
yeah.
All right.
Pages.
Josh Furman, let's do the process and, little guidance and,
So what was the timeline again? And it was,
Well, we're taking applications through this week yet, to the 15th.
that's right, that's right.
and then what do you think we should gather all of them and have a board meeting and, or, I mean.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure you wanna look through 30-some applications. I mean, you definitely can. I've got them all printed out. It's, a stack of paper about that thick. And they're not real extensive. You know, they're more or less just a snapshot of their positions, what they're doing now and everything else. And, I don't know. I'd like to talk to the Steve Hintz against them, saying that the board is interested in that. And I wouldn't mind if he came and talked to the board. If you guys want a better feel for him, get that PA.
Even if we had like a meeting off a board night or something, would that be
Yes.
acceptable?
Absolutely.
We don't need a televised meeting.
No, we could post it, say we're meeting, but
We
no
could post
decisions
it.
are gonna be made. It's more or less just
Right,
an interview, if anything else. So,
But again, we gotta be careful, we don't discuss names and something like that.
no, it went, I think it's just a matter of giving the pack and,
But isn't that public record? They put their name out there, and so
What
it's
is?
public record. It's like when we pick for the, I know in the past, if I'm not mistaken, when we picked a trustee, we went to closed session and that, we didn't have to do that. For the school board, that was all in open session. It was all in open session,
Well-
so you put your application out there, and we gave them the option, if you wanna sit in the room and, when the other people are getting asked questions,
that's
know.
absolutely true, Mike. You're
Yeah.
right. But, that's maybe down the road a little ways, once we get to a final
right.
4 or 2 or
Right.
whatever.
One of these, I think it was the one from Manawak, said something about it, they do the search, it's not subject to open
Well,
records.
we're
now
too late for that. Yeah,
We're
too late.
for that.
Yeah,
The
we
same
started
way
it,
we're
we
in the
posted it.
If we can protect, again, if someone calls for that information, we'll give it to them, but if we can protect that,
That's right.
because some people,
May not want to be known
we
that
don't
they're
want
looking,
it, I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
Because I got an email from somebody out of Green Lake area saying that if I submit my name, how confidential will it be, And well, like I said, if it's open, unless somebody asks for it, nobody's gonna say it, but, they don't wanna,
What if the reporter asked you,
yeah,
can I have a list, I mean, they might do it,
they might,
say, can we have a list of the people that applied for the position?
you're right.
I don't know, man. They're more interested, look at page 2, it's all USA Today. They
No.
don't care about local news anymore.
I understand, but the chances
if
are they
they-
could.
They could. It's a
could,
possibility,
With a radio
right?
station or something,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't,
So-
I mean, I'm comfortable, I mean, and I'm just one person, but, in Mike Will's words, I'm just one vote. I would be comfortable with going with PA and then having them, I mean, I don't even need them to come, in my opinion, I wouldn't even need them to come and talk to us first. I would just, hire them and let them rip through those applications and, because they offered that to begin with,
But
but.
you do it for free, right?
Right.
That's the only problem.
But I mean, I'm fine with hiring them, but I mean, just getting them on board and then having them come and rip through there and then just see where we're at. Just say, hey, you got 10 good ones, and then, meet with the board, just get that process rolling, because like we had talked about earlier, we're not rushing the process, but if we choose these people and then things don't work out, I would like to have the opportunity to be able to go through the process again if need be, you know what I mean? That's why I kinda wanna get the ball rolling and let's get going and get this person hired, and then, like I said, if it doesn't work out, then we have time. We have more, we're not running at the end and have to settle. I don't wanna do that.
No, I don't wanna narrow it down to 4 people, I mean, that's what they recommend, but I mean, what if we nailed it down to, I don't know,
Well, and I'm not saying that.
10, let's say 10.
That was just an example.
I'm just saying, but go into closed session and, could we do that, narrow it down further without interviewing people?
Have you ever been through this process?
Why, Jim? I've
Hire?
been through other process through the state, but not through the village process.
You haven't been through this one yet.
Okay, well,
Okay.
that's part of it.
What we
More
could-
than 4 is ugly.
What I would recommend is why don't we let PAA look at all the applications,
Yeah.
come
See what we
back
got.
with how many are valid,
Yep.
viable.
Viable candidate.
Yeah, they might knock half of them out.
So, it would, I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
let's say we came back with 6 to 8 or 9 or something, I just don't wanna,
Once they do that, would that be a good time for them to come in and
Absolutely.
not have names, but just say, I've looked at 32 of these, and I think you've got 10 that are possible?
well, can't we do that in closed session?
Why would we need to?
We don't wanna be talking people's names.
We're not gonna, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying, let's say
They'll
Steve
come and
comes,
talk to us about the
come out, yeah,
process.
and there, let's see, I've got 10 names, I'm not gonna say what they are. And then, at that point, we'd say, we're gonna hire you, so let's, now they can start doing reference checks and things, maybe some of those last
Okay.
10 would fall out because of that.
Okay.
If that works for you guys, eh?
But I mean, I'm fine, you know, I mean, not that they wouldn't do a good job or anything like that by taking advantage of them doing that for us, but I mean, I'm comfortable with making the motion that we hire PA and get rolling. You know, let's just hire them and just get the process going. Like I said, if, you know, let's get it going, and, you know, if down the road, I mean, I'm hoping like the rest of us are, that we can find a candidate and lock them in, you know, so, and then, you know, so we can get all our ducks in a row, but if you don't,
Yeah.
we got a little window there. You just don't know. I mean, you just don't know, 'cause I mean, yeah, the last time was a friggin' nightmare, so so I'll make a motion that we hire PA and get the process
Okay.
going.
But we'll take advantage of their services that they offer, right?
Sure, okay.
Absolutely. And as soon as they're ready, after the window closes,
I'll
second that.
I'll second that motion.
Because I know that when we did the process before we hired Chuck, I think we had about 5 or 6 candidates, I think, if I remember.
I don't remember
If I remember right, because I was in the interview process with them, and I think we did 5 or 6 of them.
This
right down to-
decision,
Yeah.
the decision should be tough, so.
that. Yes.
yeah.
Maybe just as a part of the discussion, then, Mike, do you feel that we still want to meet? Is it-
The
this
U is
is the
missing.
U. Yeah, I know, it's sitting over there.
Sorry.
We're missing the U on Fadu. It's sitting
It's like we
on.
got a stutter up there or something. That's kinda funny. I'm sorry. That's your answer.
Mike Streeter, do you feel that we still should meet with PAA then at some point in this early part of the process? Do we feel?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, this is just me, of course, tell them, you know, hire them, give them the applications, and just say, ask them how long it takes them to narrow down, just say we want a field of 10, just say that, or ask them what they recommend.
Yeah.
And then just set it up for the next meeting, so if they close on the 15th, say on the 5th of February, or did you want a separate night? Did you say?
First of all, we talked about getting the ones that are qualified first, and, you know, we're gonna narrow that down. I don't know what that number's gonna be, but I don't think we should ask for.
Not
solid
ask for a number, just
solid
ask them to narrow it down.
Ones that they feel are qualified for the position. Do you
Do
feel
they
that?
do the background checks and all that too?
Yeah, they would. Why don't we, maybe on the 22nd of January, which is, today's the 8th.
Fourth
It's
Monday.
open till the 15th, because we're gonna have another board meeting next Monday,
Give them
15th.
time to go through, do their
Right,
things.
and maybe on the 22nd, we could do just not a board meeting, but a meet. I'd like to hear Steve tell the process and everything
Okay,
else, and
yep.
at that point, he
Yeah.
could tell us
I'm
how
good
they're
with
gonna
that.
proceed.
Before we approve this, you mean?
No, I think we can, you know, I think this, narrowing this 30 down to 10 are off the clock,
Okay.
because he
Yeah.
volunteered to do it at no charge.
Sure, fair enough. I'm good.
I don't know,
Give them
what do you
the
think of
time
that?
to speak with us, and,
Yeah, you think that's all right, Mike?
Yeah.
I mean, don't hire them yet?
No, I'm saying we do.
Oh, yeah,
But I
that's fine.
think that the paper, I mean, the closing date is the 15th, no more
Yep.
applications.
Mhm.
I can give those to Steve, and then maybe the following Monday, which is not a board meeting, we just have no decisions, you know, just we're gonna get together and talk to Steve.
That's fine with me. That's
Yeah,
fine with
right.
me.
Me
Okay.
too.
Okay.
And if we could make that like 6 o'clock, then I think that's gonna be a school board meeting. Is it
We
the
can-
4th?
On the,
4th or the
on the
5th?
22nd?
I believe so. I mean, I find out, it's usually the 4th Monday. But I mean,
What
if we
time
had
do
it
you-
at 6 o'clock, that would be good enough for me, because our meetings are at 7.
Okay.
So that, I mean, I'm certain that he's just gonna tell us the process. It's not like we're doing anything.
Sure.
That's fine with me. That'll work. So so we made a motion, right? We didn't vote on it.
Got a second yet?
I seconded it.
Mike seconded.
Mike second, okay. Okay, all in favor of hiring EPA, say aye.
PA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, aye.
Aye.
Right.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay,
Can I go back to our plan or schedule for the trustee position?
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm gonna be out of the office the week of the 12th and the 19th
Of February.
of February.
The whole week?
okay.
Both weeks, 2 weeks, I'm gonna be gone.
He's going where it's warm.
So, unless you guys,
Chuck, you're going?
well, we're gonna close the
On the 15th.
application of the 15th
Yep.
and talk about them on the 19th.
You're saying you're not gonna be here that week?
I'm not going to be here on the 19th.
That's fine. I mean, who's gonna run the meeting? Just Jim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either
I
that or
mean,
do
we can still do that. I mean, we're just looking
Absolutely.
at applications, it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
So, I mean, are you gonna go into, well, you can't go into closed session. I don't know what applications you're gonna get. So, I mean, you're gonna have to decide on a process.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and maybe that's something you guys wanna talk about now. Maybe wait till Keith gets back, but,
You can meet on a Tuesday too, if you want. Doesn't make a difference to me. We have a board meeting anyway, scheduled.
Well, you're going that whole week, Chuck?
both week of the 12th and the 19th, I'm gone.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Do you wanna have another meeting like the 26th?
We can.
You can. I'm not
Not too far
problem.
out?
Well,
The biggest thing that we're trying to accommodate here is the villager, and I'm
Yep.
not sure how,
Yeah,
is that,
it'd be nice to,
If what?
it'd be I mean, it'd be nice to get that out there, but does anybody, Jim, do you know anybody that's gonna apply?
I do,
Do you? I mean, more than one?
not more than one. I only know of one, yeah.
Do you?
I know
Nobody-
one.
You
nobody-
had one?
I maybe have one.
nobody's approached me yet.
And I think we're talking the same one, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to hook someone.
I know that somebody else asked about it. I don't know if they're interested or not. Someone asked about it by email.
But
You
you know,
could've sent
I mean,
one to
is it
water
really
bills.
are we gonna get any type of response? Honestly, guy.
But we gotta put it out there, so
Yeah,
when someone complains to us,
Hey, we
say, hey,
couldn't
you
let
had
the
a
water
chance
bills.
for it, you know, and
We are.
it's an open
Are you?
process.
It'll be in the water bill. I mean, we could put it.
You know, we
yeah,
can go
that's-
reach
that's
out
what
to,
you
we
said.
have to put it
Water
out.
bill, you got more coverage
So
than
people
you will with
bitch.
the
That's,
village.
I think we.
Yeah, that'd be a
I
good
think
point.
that's a
A lot
better
of people don't
idea.
even
What's that?
pick the villager out.
That's a better idea. Put it in the water bill because anybody
got
can
more
read the
coverage
villager.
that
You
way.
put it in the water bill and everybody gets it. Everybody that's
I mean,
a
not every-
village resident, can we
not
just put
everybody-
it, give them to the village residents? Cause I know we send them out to Tono.
We can control that, yeah.
That would be, that's it. That's
Is
it
what-
right there. That way everybody knows about it.
Cause you know, the villager don't get read by a lot of people. They
can put it
just
in
don't
the
bother
source.
to pick it up.
Yeah.
You can put it in the both. I think, okay.
We can, yeah. I'm just
I think the
saying
water
whatever.
bill is just better coverage and
Yeah, you
that
got-
way your ducks are all in a row. I mean,
You got
what's the
100
difference? You're gonna
You
get
got
a water
100%
bill.
coverage there.
Some people getting a village,
Fine,
getting a
Mike.
water bill.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's good.
What, does that change the timing at all?
No,
No.
Okay.
No,
When did the water bills go out? The 5th?
The week of the 29th, probably.
Oh, that's good. We can move that timeline up.
29th of January? Oh, hell yeah, you got,
We
Could
should
be.
really get, I mean, that position, man, we should really get it, that
Yeah.
person
Yep.
in.
get them in the
But,
process.
You know, even if it goes in a water bill, then, I mean, to get it that week, how much time, you almost have to give them a couple weeks to
Yeah,
apply?
yeah.
And
I'd say the 9th.
1 week?
Well, if
Well-
they go out the 29th, the week of,
Well,
right?
the week of, it'll probably be close
So
to the
1, 2,
first.
3, 4.
Well, it's still the same timeline, right? You gotta give them a couple
I think
weeks.
you're talking about 12 days.
Cause if someone's gonna do it, they're gonna do it, you know, if they're
Yeah.
gonna, it's like anything else, you're just gonna dick around and forget about it.
Did you guys think about how you're gonna decide? Let's say you get 2 or 3 candidates, what are you gonna, how are you gonna decide?
Just interview them. That's what we always used to do, we interview
Yep.
them but, our council said, everybody get on the right page and make sure you don't ask any, I know, Mike, you know that stuff, and Jim, you probably do too, and Keith probably does too, working with, new hires and stuff, you know, you don't ask, you know, anything, sex, religion, anything like that.
Make a list of
Everybody-
questions.
Everybody make a list of
Yeah,
questions, yep.
make a list of questions.
Everybody asks 2 questions, and
They asked me questions when I got on.
everybody asks 2
So,
questions, is that fair?
Are you guys gonna be the panel?
Yeah.
3 of you,
Yeah.
4 of
Yeah.
you?
Four
four
of
of
us.
us, yeah.
Yeah.
When would that be? The week of what?
Well, if we got those in by the ninth,
Ninth?
Yeah.
say, and then
Give 'em
we
2
had,
weeks.
and just say, and because we're gonna get the applications and the people that are applying are gonna wanna come and
can-
interview, say the 19th? Why not?
I wouldn't do it
18th?
on, I wouldn't do it on a board.
That's
Don't
a
do it
board
on the
meeting.
board meeting?
Board meeting night.
No, I wouldn't do that, I'd have a special.
Well,
the-
I mean,
do the fifth Monday.
cap it off,
Do
if
the
you
fourth
cap it off
Monday.
on the 9th. and just-
26th.
I would think,
We're gonna be here anyway.
I would, but again, would we do it after the meeting? I think it should be a special night. I think, cause you don't know what brings.
Well, you wanna do it right away, just say it closes on the 9th?
Yep.
And just
then,
say whoever put
then
in
we're
an
gonna call-
application?
Then we're gonna call.
We'll call them and just
Call them
say,
and say that, we'll set up, try to work around those candidates. I mean, the 15th to the 16th?
I think that's a good idea, like 15th, just make it just middle of the week.
And if they can't make it, we,
Yeah, we don't have to interview them all on the same night if they can't make it. I mean, we should
No.
be flexible.
It won't
because-
take, it won't take long if you
No.
get 3, 4 candidates.
Yeah. So close on the 9th, just, I mean, we could put that in there and just say we're taking applications till the 9th
and you'll be
And whoever
contacted on the 12th to the 13th.
to let you know what date
We're hoping to set up meetings for the 15th and the 16th.
that works. That works. Just make it
So
simple.
closing it on the 9th, interviews sometime the week of the 12th.
15th or.
The 15th or the 16th.
15th and the 16th. That way they've got a choice each night, 15th or the 16th.
And
15th
then
and the 16th.
Would you let
Yeah.
them know that who it is by that?
The 12th.
The 19th?
By the 19th, I would say we would let them know by the 19th.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
we'll
board
announce on the village
Unless we
board
have,
meeting on the 19th.
unless we take it to a second, we've done that before where you want to reconsider again,
Yeah.
So we'll hope to make a decision the week of the 19th.
And we'll make a decision at the
So they
village board.
won't be on, you won't be put on the board on the 19th then?
No,
So, okay.
we'll make a decision, maybe we'll have that on the
Monday in
agenda.
March, I would think.
When we get that far, maybe we'll put it on the agenda for,
But if we do the interviews 15th and 16th,
Yeah.
we should be able to, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're not gonna need the weekend to mull it over. We can make a decision that night, we'll take a vote, and we'll make
the
that
last couple of
decision.
times you guys, all of a sudden, okay, that's right. We can do that, put it on the agenda, we can always yank it off. We can always
Yeah.
say no action.
Yeah.
We can put it on the agenda for the 19th and we can yank
And
it off.
announce the new position for, and then their first meeting would be the first Monday, March, and first Monday in March.
Are we meeting the 26th?
No. We're meeting the 5th and the
With that
19th.
PAA?
22nd, we're meeting with PA.
22nd's PAA?
In January, we're a whole month off.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right.
Okay,
That's good. Okay, so it's just as clear as mud. So we'll put it in the phone, in the water bills, the week of the 29th. You say you have to have the applications in, your application in by the 9th. We'll have the interviews the 15th and the 16th, and we'll announce the new trustee on the 19th.
Any reason why you're doing an interview on a Friday? That's usually not a,
Well, we'll just say.
Well, I guess we could go-
Thursdays
we
or
could
Fri-
go
we
Wednesday-
Thursday,
we
but
go
do you think
Wednesday,
anybody
Thursday
gives a
if you
rip
want.
about Valentine's Day?
well,
I
no,
don't
it's
know.
not so much, but you're probably gonna have to do it after hours because you work, Mike works.
well, we'd love
Yeah.
the 15th. 15th,
We'll just say the 15th.
Just say the
Be there at
15th.
B Square
and
at
then,
6 o'clock.
but we're
And then
gonna
if
be
you have to make
flexible.
it- Yeah, we can be flexible, yeah.
Say
And
the
then,
15th.
so 15th at 6 o'clock would be the night of the interviews. I do have a young lady that's interested in them, because everybody's complains because there's no women and no
Yeah.
young people on the board.
I thought of that too.
And I'm trying to hook this girl, and, because she just graduated from college, and she's fired up, and I talked to her just a couple weeks ago, and she said she'd think about it, and I haven't, and I sent her a message tonight, and I just said, hey, there's a meeting at 6, I know it's short notice, but she was working tonight, so.
I think
she was
somebody
there.
who's gonna stay in the village too.
Bought a house in the village,
Oh,
just
good.
bought a house about
Good,
a
good.
year ago, I think, yeah. Real young girl, and she's ready to go, man, and one of her last classes she took in college was a government class, and I said, you can see how it actually works. You can put your college education to work, right here.
I didn't mean to bring that up, but I thought that was gonna be a problem with my being gone, so that'll work. Okay.
Perfect. Okay, wow. Any communications? Any unfinished business? Any new business? go to closed session.
Make a motion, we go into closed session for discussion of a personnel issue under Wisconsin State Statutes 19.85 sub 1C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation, date of any public employee over which a governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. Number one, WPPA/Lear contract. Number two, WPPA/Sword contract.
Second.
Motion by Streeter, second by Will. Roll call.
Jim?
Yep.
Mike?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.